Salesforce profile. Salesforce profile control what a user can do after logging into Salesforce, right? We can explain this in a very simple manner by using CRUD operation, right? CRUD means create, read, edit, and delete, right? We have n number of objects in Salesforce. Some of them are standard or maybe custom. And you want some user in your org to read, edit, like your lead object, but you are not allowed to delete them. So CRUD enable you to mix and match what a specific user can do with object that are the part of your org, right? So if you want to see any profile and its permission, so what you need to do, you need to open your profile setting, and under the object permission section, we have n number of section there for each of the permission. So if we talk about object permission section, we can see n number of objects are there. If we talk about standard object and custom object, you can see the basic access label. That means you are allowed to read, create, edit, or delete a specific object, right? We can manage profile by using profiling, and we can assign any permission that we want to assign a particular profile, right? In addition to object, profile also control field label security. That means for a particular field, you allow to visible or editable, right? You can also manage page layout, record type, even apps, right? Each Salesforce user in your organization has a profile. That means profile is compulsory. That means whenever we are going to create a new user in a Salesforce org, then we need to assign a profile for that particular user, right? And if we talk about profile are designed to group a users. Suppose we have a n number of user and they are working for a particular kind of activity. Like we have sales department, we have support department, and in sales department, almost all of the employee working on a same type of object, right? So what we can do, we can create a sale profile and assign to the user, right? Similarly, you can create a profile for support department and assign user to that profile, right? So when we create a profile, we need to specify different permission, what kind of permission we want to implement in a certain profile. And when we add a user under a profile, then it will automatically get all the permission that we set in a profile. The most important profile in any org is system administrator. System administrator means the you can say power user and the user that first enter into your org when it is created, right? We can have a number of user in system, and each user has a different profile. And you can also create a user under admin profile, right? So admin profile has a absolute access to do anything, right? In addition to the CRUD operation, it also has view all and modify all, right, for each of object. We will also have ultimate permission, namely modify all data and customize all application, right? Basically, these kind of permission you won't apply to all of the user. Simple administrator have these kind of permission to modify all data, right? So if you want to check a particular profile, then what you need to do? Simple, you need to log in into your org, and in setup, you need to find profile, right? When you click on the profile, then it will show all the profile available in your system, right? If we talk about profile, then we have two kind of profile, standard profile and custom profile. Simple, if we talk about standard profile, that means they are the part of your Salesforce org. That means it will automatically there. And if we talk about custom profile, that means the profile that you created separately. And we can create a profile by cloning any particular profile that is a part of your Salesforce. Like if you want to create a new profile, then what you need to do, just click on new profile. And in new profile, you need to select which type of profile you want to clone. We have n number of profile there. Basically, each profile is created for a specific purpose. That means each profile is set different permissions. Now you can see we have system administrator profile. We have read only profile. Read only means if you create a user and assign a read only profile, that means that particular user is only allowed to view the things that are the part of your Salesforce. We have standard profile, standard user. So just I'm going to create a standard user profile as a existing profile and creating a new profile like marketing users. Right. That means a new profile is created. That is a clone of standard user. Just click on. Now a new profile is created. And you can say it is a copy of standard user. Right. Now it has different section, detail, profile details, and page layout. We have different page layout, and you can see the permission, custom object layout, field level security, custom app setting, tab setting. That means which tab you want to visible for a particular user or not. So whatever things are there, if you want to modify, just click on edit. After edit, you can modify the permission as per the requirement. And if we talk about custom app setting, so you can set which application user allowed to view, right? And which application you want as a default. Basically, whenever we create a profile, then it is compulsory to assign one default app, right? So that when a user login into the system, he is able to do anything. Otherwise, if we not allow any app, that means user is unable to do anything, right? So you can set which connected app user is allowed to use, right? Even you can set your tab setting, which tab is user is allowed to open or not. We have some administrative permission. We have some general user permission. Now we can see we have standard object permission. Now for a particular profile that we created, what you want for account object. If you want read, create, edit, and delete, then you need to tick. Otherwise, you need to untick. That means in that particular situation, user is supposed to read the account data. If you want to allow user to create, edit, and delete, whatever the permission you want to assign, you need to tick or untick the checkbox, right? Similarly, we have custom object. You need to set the permission for custom object. That means which permission you want to allow or disallow, right? Similarly, you can set the password policy and your session setting, right? Whatever the permission you want to assign, you can set here. After that, you need to just save. So by using this step, you are able to create a profile. Now, when the profile is created, now the second step, what you need to do, you need to assign a profile, a particular user, right? So for that, you need to open your user.
Ajay, I think your screen is frozen.
Okay, okay, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Now it is visible.
Yes, it is now. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm further showing that the profile, we create a new profile with the name of marketing user, right? After that, what do you need to do? You need to just click on edit. So whenever we create a new profile, what you need to do, just clone any existing profile that is much similar to the profile that you want to create, right? After that, when the profile is created, you need to click on the edit button. After clicking the edit button, you get different section over there. Depending on your requirement or the permission set that you want to assign a particular user, you need to set each of the setting accordingly, right? We have custom app setting. For a particular profile that you are going to create, you need to select at least one app, so that when that kind of user log in into the system, they are able to access that particular app, right? We have connected app. So which kind of application you want to allow, you need to take or untake. Similarly, you can set tab setting, right? Similarly, you find there is standard object setting, where you get all the standard object that is a part of your Salesforce. Now, here you need to set read, create, edit, delete, whatever the permission you want to set over here, right? If you want a particular profile user is only able to read the account, then you need to assign only read permission for account object, right? So whatever the permission you want to assign, you can set over here. Similarly, we can have section like custom object permission, where you can see all the custom object, right? Similarly, you can set, right, which permission you want to assign. We have session setting, we have a password policy. You can set all the settings, right? After that, what you need to do, just click on save, so that that particular setting is saved. Now, after creating a profile, the next step, you need to assign profile to a particular user. So for that, in setup, quick find, you need to type users. Now open users, and you need to select user and assign a profile. Suppose we have one user, just click on it and click on the edit, so that you are able to assign profile. Just click on edit and select the profile that you want to assign. Standard. One minute, just click on users. Create a new user. Now you can see we have marketing user profile, right? So at the time of creating, you can assign profile, right? So the permission that we assign in a marketing user profile is automatically assigned to the user that we are going to create over here, right? Now next is what is Salesforce role and role hierarchy. Let's switch to thinking about role, which control what user can see in your Salesforce org. Roles are basically designed to increase the data visibility. That means you can say role is like a hierarchy. Role are designed to increase the data visibility to open up access to Salesforce record, right? You will have a baseline visibility set for each object in your org, that is known as OWD, right? That means it is a default setting for each of the object that is a part of your Salesforce org, right? Like we take an example for opportunity. If it is set to private, which means that user can only see the opportunity that is created by the user. They are not able to access the record of other users. Similarly, for account, if it is set as read write, that means anyone able to read as well as write, means modify the account information, right? So that is also known as sharing setting. You can simply access it by typing sharing setting, and you can see what are the internal, that is the default access. And if you want to modify, just click on the edit button and you can set according to the requirement. Simple, what you need to do, simple go to the Salesforce and type sharing setting. When you click on this link, it will provide the details, right? Simply what you need to do, just click on the edit. Currently it will show the default setting, right? If you want to change, just click on edit, and for each object that you want to change, you need to specify, right, which kind of permission you want to give: private, public read only, public read write, public read write transfer, right? So whatever the permission you want to assign here for a particular object, you need to set over here and click on save, right? So you should know that there are default, that means for each object there is already default already set, that is known as OWD. Now basically what you need to do, we have one golden rule. If you want to assign permission, obvious, when you assign permission to a particular user, that means you are opening the things, that means user is allowed to work with a system, right? If you are restricting the user, that means user is not able to do anything. So if you want to allow a user to do particular thing, that means you are going to open access. So whenever you assign permission to a particular profile, then what you keep in mind, you need to first restrict the user. That means which level of restriction you want to implement, first implement that, and then open the rest of the thing so that user is able to work on the object, right? So this is one snapshot that show we have different object and default access that is set for each of the object. If you want to modify, simply go to the share setting and you can edit a particular object and set new level of access. Now, there's one example. We take suppose opportunity object. Basically, we have two things: organization wide default and we have profile. And we are taking an example of opportunity. In OWD, it is set as private, and in profile, no access on your profile. That means you will not able to see. You are not able to create, even not able to edit and delete any of the opportunity record, right? In OWD, if it is private, and in opportunity, you set profile as a create and edit. Clear? That means in opportunity, for opportunity object in profile, it is set as create and edit. And in OWD, it is private, meaning you will be able to see and create the opportunity yourself, but not able to view and edit anyone else opportunity. That means you are allowed to create and edit the opportunity that is created by you. You are not supposed to access anyone other's record of opportunity. Similarly, if OWD is private and you set profile access to your opportunity object as modify all, right? In that particular case, you are allowed to see, edit, and create anyone's opportunity, right? Because you tick on modify all in profile label. Similarly, if OWD is set as read only, public read only, and you set in profile create edit, right? That means you are able to see all opportunity, and even you are allowed to create and edit, right? Your own. So we look at this triangle. If we talk about OWD, that means there is some restriction. Now, by using role hierarchy and sharing rule, you can increasing the data visibility, right? That means from top to bottom, it will increasing your data visibility. That means by using role hierarchy, you are providing some visibility to your data. By using sharing rule, you are also increasing your visibility of data. Visibility means what you can do with your data. That means read, edit, delete, modify, right? Now look at this uh, roles and profile. If we talk about profile, we can represent profile like a circle. That means each profile is separated from other. Basically, profile are created to perform a particular type of activity. Like we in an organization, we have sales department, marketing department, and finance department. So we can create profile for each of the user separately, right? A group of user, not a particular user, group of user, right? And if we talk about role are in hierarchy. uh, if we look this particular role, you can see it is like parent child relationship, like that means it is extended. Now look at this. Profile are like circle of user that share same functionality, like we have support department, marketing department, sales department, right? And if we talk about roles, in a organization, we have a BP of sale, and we have sale manager, maybe west zone, central zone, or east zone. They are working in a same level, but BP of the sale has more functionality, has a more you can say access on data. If we talk about this particular sale manager, he is able to view only west zone data. That particular sale manager is able to access east zone data. But if we talk about this manager that act as a BP of sale, now he is able to access all data. That means the visibility level of this user is greater than this. So this can be implemented by creating a role, right? So sharing rule are used to extend the role hierarchy so that you are not restricted to a particular kind of data, right? So difference between profile and role. If you talk about profile, with the help of profile, what you can do, you can create, read, edit, and delete whatever the permission you want to assign, right? If you talk about role basically it allow the visibility of the role. Profile is compulsory for every user. And if we talk about Role is an optional. Basically, it is used to extend the functionality of a particular user. Like if we take an example, we have a n number of user. Like we have a n number of user in sale department. So they are assigning a profile like sale. So all the user who belongs to this particular profile have a same functionality. But what we want one additional functionality for this particular user, right? So what we can do, we can create a permission set, and we can assign that permission set to this particular user. That means this user has a profile, and profile basically has a certain number of permissions, right? So this permission plus this separate permission set is added to this particular user. That means this user has plus uh, more functionality over these user, right? So if we talk about shape, so profile is we represent as a circle. That means grouping user with similar functionality. Like and for role we are using hierarchy. Basically in hierarchy we split user with certain level, right? And if we talk about upper user has more visibility level than lower, right? Next, if we talk about profile for controlling access, that means we can control object field level security. That means which field are visible or editable, which page layout you are allowed to access, which record type you are allowed to access, and which application or tab you are allowed to access, right? If we talk about role, that means that is related to your records and folders. So if we talk about permission set, so permission set basically it is used to add on some functionality for a particular profile, right? That means when we create a profile has its own permissions, and we want some add-on permission. So for that we create a permission set, and this particular thing is assigned to a particular user, right? So by using permission set we can simply give more power to a particular user, because we are not creating multiple profile, right? Suppose we have 10 object, and for a particular sale profile, right, user can access 9 object, but this particular user is allowed to access all the 10 object. So for that we are not going to create a separate profile. What we can do, we can create a permission set. In that permission set we include the object, and simple, we assign that permission set to a user. So if you want to create a permission set, then what you need to do, simple go to the permission set. Permission set, you need to create a new permission set. Just click on new. When you create a new permission set, what you need to do, you need to specify any name for that test permission set, and just click on save. Now here you need to specify you are going to create a permission set for which thing, maybe assigning app, or maybe for object setting. So for a particular user we are going to create object setting, right? Just click on object, and you need to select the object and specify which kind of permission you want to set. So for account, suppose I select account, and you need to specify the setting. Just click on edit. For a particular object, what you want to perform, you need to just click on that, and suppose I want read, create, edit, delete, right? So just you need to set over there. After that, it will show fields of accounts. So you can also set all the permission that you want to set, right? Read access, edit access. So you need to specify for both the things. That means for object permission as well as field permission, right? After that, you need to save. Now the permission set is created. The next step, you need to assign that particular permission set for a particular user, right? So for that, you need to click on manage assignment. So we can say any user is a part of a profile, right? And you are going to assign one additional permission set. Now user has a profile permission plus one permission set. Now you can say that particular user has now more power than its group member, right? So just click on add permission, add assignment, and select your user. So you can create multiple permission set, right, and assign to a particular user. So what we do, we create a permission set and assign this permission to a particular user, right? So if you want to check all the permission set that is assigned to a particular user, then what you need to do, just click on the users, and in users, you can see the related list. In related list, you find permission set assignment, and you can view all the permission that is assigned to a particular user. So go to the Salesforce and select your user. Just type user and select user from the list. Just click on users. Just click on the user, specific user that you want to view. Now, in the related list, you can view permission set assignment. So for a particular user, we already assigned one permission set. Now you can view. So we can create different permission set for different activity, and we can assign that particular permission to a specific user, or we can assign that permission set to multiple user. It is not necessary to assign a permission set only a one user. That permission set we can assign to multiple user. We can also edit. If you want to remove that particular permission set, then what you need to do, just click on edit assignment, and you can simply remove, or if you have already created permission set, then you can assign that particular permission set to your user. We can also assign multiple permissions set for a particular user, right? When we click on save, then a specific type of permission is assigned to your user, right? So if we talk about profiles, role, and basically they all work together. right? uh, Profile, whenever we create a profile, so it is very much necessary to assign a one app to your profile, so that when we create a user and assign a profile, then that particular user is allowed to do something over there, right? If we talk about roles, roles basically it is used to perform your profiling, right? That means we have a hierarchy like structure where we have like a president, vice president, and manager. For manager, we have different level of access on data. If we go one level upper, then that particular user have different level of access permission, right? If we go one level more upper, then that particular user has more visibility of data. So by using role, we can perform that particular thing. Next, permission set. Permission set, that means we are creating some specific type of permission, and we are assigning that permission set to a specific user, so that that user now become more capable to the assigned profile plus the additional permission set that you added over there, right? So all these things work together and provide the visibility level for your data. That means what kind of data you can see and you can modify, right? So if we want to work with the roles, then what do you need to do? Just click on role. Just click on the roles. Now you can see the hierarchy like structure. Basically, all the user belonging to one profile. Maybe they are marketing department, yeah, maybe they are belonging to sale department. But if we talk about hierarchy level, then hierarchy level is different for each user, right? Depending on the roles, each user has different visibility on data. So we can implement this by using role. Simply just click on setup roles. When you click on setup role, now here you can create any role and assign user, right? Suppose if you want to create a role, just click on add role. By using add role, you are allowed to create a new role. Like if you want to create a CEO, okay, this particular role is already available. Okay, you can see a role is created, and you can assign a user for a particular role, right? So if you have already user, just click on assign user to role, or if you want to create a new user, just click on new role. So currently we don't have any available user for newly created, so we just use this particular one, right? Just click on role and click on assign. Was assign. Just select the user, assign that user for a specific role, and just save, right? So by using this concept, we can create a role hierarchy for a particular org, right? And for each user we have different profile or you can say some add-on functionality with the help of permission set. So you can set the visibility level for each of the user, right? So, so now we are able to understand the difference between roles and profile, right? Profiles means we are creating a you can say set of permissions, right? After creating a set of permission, we can assign permission to a particular users, right? Or you can say group of user. Role, basically it is used to create hierarchy type structure for your org. And permission set meaning we are creating a specific permission, that is we are going to assign that permission set to a specific user, right? So all these things work together to provide the visibility level, right? Now there's some confusion when a Salesforce org using both profiles and role. Basically they are designed to use together. It is not like we are using either profile or role. Basically they are working together to make the visibility label, right? So further we are seeing this particular thing. Just go to the Salesforce org and type profile, right? When we click on profile, we have multiple profiles over there. When we talk about new org, so we have already predefined profile, and they profile are known as standard profile, right? Whenever you want to create a custom profile, right, the question is why we are going to create a custom profile. So custom profile we required sometime we have some standard object and we are not supposed to manipulate uh, profile that is standard. So what we can do, we can create a clone of standard profile and change whatever you want to do. So if you want to create a new profile, then what you need to do, just click on new profile, and then you need to select the profile which is most likely the profile that you want to create, right? Suppose we take an example, standard user or maybe solution manager, whatever you want to create, right? Just click on this and you need to specify like a student profile, right? Just click on save. Now this new profile is now created, that is your student profile, and that student profile basically similar to your standard profile. Now what you need to do, you need to modify the permission that is already assigned over here according to your requirement. Now for that, what you need to do, just click on edit button. After clicking on edit button, you need to set like when a particular profile user login into system, then which default application you want to show. Like in this particular case, the default app is sale. That means if a student profile user login into the system, then by default sale application is visible to the user, right? Suppose if you want user is not able to access any of the application, then what you need to do, you need to just untick all the app, right? So when you save, you find this sale app is default selected, because for particular profile one app is required, right? So you need to take only those application that you want a particular user is able to access, right? Just after that, you can set your tab setting, right? If you want the account, by default account tab is on, hide, or off. So you need to separately specify each of the permission for tab, right? This is for standard and this is for custom tab, right? We have some administrative privileges. Then which type of privileges you want to assign for a user profile, you need to set. After that, general user permissions, that means which type of permission you want to assign, right? You need to just read the permission name and decide you want to assign this permission or not. After that, you need to set standard object permission. You can see different standard object that is a part of your org is visible over here. Now for a particular profile, which permission you want to assign, you need to tick or untick according to your requirement, right? Similarly, you need to set the same thing for custom object. Similarly, you need to specify platform event, which platform event you want to assign. Then desktop integration, client permission, and password policy that you want to assign, right? So by using this concept, you are going to create a permission set. You can say profile, right? Next step, what you need to do? You need to create a user and assign that profile to a specific user, or you can say group of user. So all the permission that you assign here become available for that user, right? Now, if you want some add-on functionality, then for that, what you need to do? You need to create a permission set, right? And if you want to set the visibility label for different role, then you need to simply create a role and assign the visibility label, right? So we can say profile and role are not, you can say you can choose over there. That means you need to assign profile or role. Basically, they are work together. That means profiles, roles, and permission set work together. By using, you can set the visibility level for your object as well as field level security. Similarly, if you want to assign permission for fields, then what you need to do? Just go to the field accessibility. You need to type field accessibility, and by using field accessibility, you can select object, and for a particular object, you can assign field level access. Now we have field accessibility option is over here under security. When you select field accessibility, now in field accessibility, you need to first select your object. You need to select your object, and under that object, you find different fields, right? And you can set the now view by field. Now you can choose, like we choose account name, right? That is a field name. Now you can set it is required or not, whatever the things you want to set over here, right? Just click on this and you can set. So by using this concept, you can set the visibility label, read only label, or required label, right? Now you can see all things are in one place. Basically, this represents the profile, and for a particular profile, uh, the visibility label, right? It is available or not, right? So by using field accessibility, you can set permission for a specific. You can say first you need to select object, and after you can select your field and set the visibility level, or you can set required for a particular layout, right? So that's all about profile roles and permission set, right? Any queries? Hello, Amrut.